Hi, I'm Mario,
And I'm Amilcar.
and this is Two Mics, One World Cup.
And today we're going to be covering Group H, which is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea.
And we're joined by a great guest, my friend Israel Arechiga. He's the proud owner of literally the best coffee shop in San Diego. You can check the 2021 edition of San Diego Magazine, Mystic Mocha. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, Israel.
What's up, guys? Thanks for inviting me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. And just really quick, one more time on Mystic Mocha. My favorite drink is, and it's not a sponsored, it's not a sponsor, it truly is very good, is the Frankie Four Fingers, which I just found out like maybe 3 months ago. I was watching, I forgot the Snatch? No.
Snatch.
What was the movie that it, yeah, it's Snatch, right?
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, that's a Guillermo del Toro character.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah. Oh, no, Benicio, sorry, not Guillermo, yeah.
Benicio del Toro. Yeah, we made it so all the drinks are named after characters.
What's your favorite drink then, or at least your favorite character from it?
My favorite character, honestly, Frankie Four Fingers, but my favorite drink is probably the Valkyrie, which is hazelnut and banana. It's pretty good.
Nice. And if you could see our live stream, you'd see that Israel's kind of got like a hazelnut banana looking sweater.
Looks like the Tiger King.
Yeah.
More Tiger King, you're right.
Swaggy Tiger King, we'll call it that. Hopefully less controversial.
There it is.
Actually, that'd be a good name, Joe Exotic.
Just
for a drink?
Oh,
just in general for a kid. If you're
Have you ever thought about changing your name to Joe Exotic?
No, literally call it the Joe Exotic, but then and don't even list what the ingredients are. You can just write like "Just trust us" or something.
It's like the chef special.
Exactly.
We always do this. We will get to Group H. We will talk about it. But yeah, eventually now. So Israel, Group H, you got Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea, South Korea. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be a pretty good group. I feel like it's one of those where obviously Portugal being the strongest team in that group. Uruguay's got a good team, but also, I mean, Ghana and South Korea, being Mexican, South Korea gave me probably one of the most exciting games last World Cup with them beating Germany. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of good games because it's one of those where even the teams that are the best teams, I don't think are going to perform to where it's just like a blowout. It's going to be tight games, I think.
Yeah, it's funny because weren't you talking about that, Mario, earlier in an earlier episode where we were saying that there's usually like one powerhouse and then like the rest it's a good battle. Here, like I guess the powerhouse would be Portugal and Uruguay, and not even like
exactly.
Any team could easily win this group, like, and you can legitimately say that, and anybody can win it.
Yeah, it's one of those where, and again, it's the big stars of Portugal and Uruguay. I mean, they have like younger guys too, but it's one of those where, I mean, they're older guys. You know, so it's kind of up in the air, I think.
Yeah, and Uruguay's a funny one too. Like I remember the 2010 World Cup, and we'll get more to it because they're playing Ghana in this group, but they just like finessed ways to win. Like when Suarez like put the hand to like block what would have been a goal, and then they get lucky that Ghana like doesn't score the penalty. Like, we'll see how much of that they bring to the tournament. We've mentioned at least according to FIFA rankings, favorite Portugal. Their current FIFA ranking 9. They're on their 8th World Cup appearance. And then the best result was actually in 1966, where they got 3rd. And then 2006, they got 4th. That was like the young Cristiano Ronaldo. Deco was like on his way out. I had a few more years at Barcelona, I think. Was Figo in the 2006 team?
Yeah,
I think Figo was on the team too.
I think Bruno Alves was there too, right? As center back.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's some like legends, really.
I think Pauleta was on that team too.
Yeah,
that's a stacked
was
team.
On it too.
Yeah. In like retrospect, no wonder they got 4th.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Portugal's always one of those where everyone's just kind of like, oh, well, Cristiano doesn't have a good enough team, and then you look back and you're like, I mean, that's a pretty good team, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid one. Yeah, and then Zidane scored, I think, the penalty against Portugal in the semis to go to the finals, and then Zidane coaches Ronaldo for all those years later in Real Madrid, which is pretty cool. They had a kind of bumpy road to qualify. They had to go through the playoffs.
They shouldn't have to go through the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
For being honest.
Yeah.
The disallowed goal,
be clear on this. Yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure that's crystal clear. Yeah. They should have beat Serbia.
Ronaldo agrees. He threw his captain badge and everything.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Took care of business when they played North Macedonia. Imagine they would have played Italy. like instead of North Macedonia, like
that would have
I
been
almost
wild.
think Italy would have made it instead. Which personally, like even though I'm a Barcelona fan, I do like watching Cristiano Ronaldo play. So I'm just glad we're gonna get to see Ronaldo play what we think is his last World Cup. I don't know what he's
Yeah,
thinking.
I think he's at a point where if it is his last World Cup, I think he's gonna shine in this one. Like he's the kind of player he is, to where it's just like he's not gonna give up. You know what I mean? He's not gonna quit. He's gonna put everything into it. So that's gonna be fun to see. Same here, Barcelona fan, but I gotta give respect to where it's due.
Of course, face. Yeah,
thoroughly enjoying this.
We're two Barcelona fans. We're giving Ronaldo praise. Please tell us what are your thoughts? Are you still like him, or did you not like how he left Madrid?
Oh no, I'm fine with it. I mean, I think everyone's going to move on. There's like select few, i.e., like nobody that retires at Real Madrid. So like I think we've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
I think Barcelona has had a couple like Xavi that retired and
Yeah.
Puyol and stuff, but like at Real Madrid, there's like no one ever retires there. So I think it's always
Yeah.
like even if you're like the best player, there's always an assumption that you're going to leave somewhere and play probably really well for a couple more years somewhere else. It's just the way they have everything set up.
Especially players like Casillas who left, and it was just like, I mean, he's basically retiring. Like it's not like he's like at his peak about to go somewhere else. Same like how Iniesta left Barcelona to go to China, where it's just like
he didn't want to play Barcelona.
you know what
until
you're
he,
doing.
Like went so far. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But I mean, I think when you talk about Portugal, though, I think other than that team we're talking about in 2006, like this is probably the most stacked.
Dude,
it's been with like a bunch of young talent.
Yeah, they have
for
a good
Ronaldo.
balance. Yeah, like they still have like veterans, but they have like a lot of really good young talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be the last time with Pepe, Patricio, Moutinho, Ronaldo. Like this is all their last chance at getting a World Cup. So I think that's gonna play a big part in them potentially advancing far in this.
I think especially having Cristiano like on there, you would think that their offense is their best asset, but their defense is stacked too, man. I think they only gave up like seven goals or something like that. Like it's one of the teams where it's just like goalies, defense, everything. Even the mid is looking pretty good. Bruno Fernandes is in there. All these guys that are actually like world class players, not just like random dude that plays for the Portuguese league and a small team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Speaking of the defense, like Pepe, he's still balling out. He's 39 years old. I thought he was like maybe 37.
Wild, dude.
But yeah,
still
he's
breaking ankles.
Yeah,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's something maybe in the Portuguese water or something. But yeah, these guys play pretty well. Like John Moutinho too. Like because of Raul Jimenez, I've been a Wolves fan for the last 3 years. But I mean, this might be their last year in the EPL before they go down to the championship. Yeah, I'm excited to see him there. He can score from far away, like not often. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a goal, like a outside the box goal. So that'd be fun to watch.
I think the biggest thing for them though is like how are they going to play? Because like I think they played super conservative in the Euros. Granted, they didn't have a lot of these like young kids that were actually like playing well, like Joao Felix and stuff. So they didn't have a great attacking, but now they have way better attacking. So I think the biggest thing on Santos is he going to play more offensive? Is he still going to be super conservative? Like how is he going to play? Because you play a team like Uruguay, like they're going to score goals. Like they're not going to sit back. So you're going to have to actually push the ball, and it's going to be like, are they ready for that? Since they haven't been playing that way for a long time.
And not only that, but I feel like Uruguay is also willing to play the counterattack game also. So it's just going to be one of those things where it's just like you can't just give into that. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a rough one, especially. Also, like you said, they have all these new guys. Joao Felix being their strong young guy, but it's just like, is he going to be able to work well with Cristiano and all these guys? You know what I mean?
And that's been the issue. Like the coach hasn't been able to get them to work together. Like they have such good players, but it's like kind of like you were saying about Brazil earlier when we were off air. Like they're just so star-studded. Like are they going to be able to play together? They all play individual very well.
Do you guys think Ronaldo's going to be a starter, or what role do you think he'll play on
100%, no questions asked.
Yeah,
really?
There's no way in his last World Cup he doesn't start and play every single. I honestly think he's gonna be the leading scorer in the World Cup, no matter how far he goes.
Yeah,
damn.
I don't see well, maybe not in this group, but
bold prediction.
I can see like him pulling like another like hat trick, but not against Ghana or Uruguay or Korea. But also speaking about leading score, one of my favorite games last World Cup was the Spain Portugal game. That's like one of the games I was like, man, this guy is a baller. It basically was him against Spain, and not really. Like Portugal was still a good team, but they were not like the Portugal. They didn't have like the talent that they have now, or at least not developed to that degree. And you could see that game. He was playing against a lot of his teammates and rivals from Madrid, and you could tell like he really wanted to beat him, and he like I remember like at the end like that free kick like extra time was like literally like that's like
brutal.
the definition of clutch, like so nice.
That was heartbreaking, man.
No, being on the receiving end of it, but it was like such a good game.
Yeah,
it was
you have to admit that.
I feel like no matter what, a World Cup game that ends like that, you know, just says so much about the player. Like it's just like taking that upon yourself and being like, it's me against these guys. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have to do it, and yeah, man. I mean, it's Cristiano. You can't go against that.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, even if they make it out, though, it'll be tough because I mean they haven't won a knockout game since 2006. So they've made it out multiple times, but just they lose the first game right after. So it's like, you know, the pressure's on. That's also a big thing. The pressure's on for Ronaldo because he knows this is it. Like the Euros, that was basically all he had, and he's not really playing at Man U. João Felix isn't really playing at Atletico. Like a lot of these guys are not playing that much, you know. So are they going to be able to show up?
Oh, this is basically also like the only big trophy that he hasn't won, really. It's like the last one on the trophy.
And Messi.
Case. Yeah,
exactly.
Honestly, it's anybody's game, but this next team, I think Ghana also could really surprise us. We're going to talk about them next. They're the FIFA ranking number 61, have 4 World Cup appearances, and they also went to the playoffs. And they have some pretty good players. Biggest match, I know we just talked about it, is going to be the Uruguay-Ghana rematch, which Mario basically touched upon. So anything even remotely crazy happens involving Luis Suarez, I think things are just going to pop off, man. Yeah. Like I think they're still holding on to that. You know what I mean? It's not something that they're going to let go quickly.
Yeah, you don't let go of something like that. Like Mexico fans, that's kind of like the no era penal in 2014, where like pretty much game's over and they give a penalty questionably to the Netherlands. Like that's so hurt. It was also that was in the in the round of 16. This was even further in. So I can't picture like a Ghana fan being like, it's all right.
It would have been different if they won, but the fact that they lost on top of that is like, oh, that's brutal.
Yeah. I would have hated to be I don't know who took that penalty kick in that game, but hated to be that guy, man. Like
I know, actually, though. But the crazy part is, like, this team that they have right now is, like, completely different, like, from the 2010 or 2018 teams. Like, they were, like, I was reading that they recruited basically 5 players in the last, like, 3 months that were playing for the German under-21 team, Spanish team. Like, they got Iñaki Williams, who was playing for the Spain national, like, the first division, or not first division, sorry, their A team. But I guess as long as they don't play he only played a friendly. So as long as they don't play a competitive match, like, count. Yeah, it didn't count. So they pulled him, an English under-21. So it's just wild, like, the people that they pulled out, but also, like, you have 5 brand new people. How much pressure is going to be on them to show up at the World Cup? And also you're playing with everyone that you've never really played with ever.
It's a good point. And also, they just got a new German coach, right? Which I think, again, like you said, they brought in a bunch of German guys and European guys.
I guess it makes sense.
Just, exactly. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's something I was reading.
Hey, don't worry, we'll get our fact checkers on it.
Coach Otto. I don't know if I pronounced
Otto. Yeah, there you go.
It sounds German.
But Autobahn.
And there's also like the question of how they meshed. Are they going to really be able to get the most out of this team together when it's like their first time playing together? Not first time, but practically. Curious to see how that plays out for them.
This is one of those teams where it's not like they have like a star. You know what I mean? It's a lot of younger guys that all play very, very well. No one's like the king of their team. Like Thomas Partey plays for Arsenal. Very good player, but it's not like he's not the top scorer. He's not anything like that. He's just a very solid player that they can depend on and everything. And I feel like they have a lot of those. They have another guy, Mohamed Kudus, that plays for Ajax also. Solid team there, I think.
That kind of reminds me of the US a lot of the times. Before this generation, they had maybe not necessarily like a true star. They had like some leaders that would stand out. And I feel like in many World Cups, they would achieve more with less in a way. So
sorry, Landon Donovan.
What happened?
I said sorry, Landon Donovan. No stars,
ooh,
man.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that they didn't have any stars. They have 50 of them.
Run it back.
Nice. There you go.
I'm not saying they didn't have stars, but it's not like they had like a Ronaldo. Well, not
like world-class players.
But exactly. Yeah.
Like how now they depend so much on Pulisic and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Yeah, we have like starters in top 5 leagues in Europe, where before maybe they had a stint in the EPL, but they never really quite got going. Clint Dempsey maybe a little bit more, but the bulk of their stardom was more domestically. And I think they actually played in the same group as the U.S. in 2006. Yeah, that's the group where the U.S. got 1 point and then Ghana made it to as a second place.
Yep.
That was a Freddie Adu back in the day.
For real.
Oh, I remember
Back when he was going to be
like
the new Pele.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see like Disney Channel would like feature him on like little like commercial things.
Yeah, that's great. But you were talking about Thomas Partey, but the crazy part is he's been injured so much this season. I think he only played like 2 of the last like 10 games for Ghana, and then he's been injured half of Arsenal. So they've always had a really good midfielder. So like they had obviously Michael Essien back in the day, and then now him. So it's like if he can't go,
the pressure is
what's gonna happen
really,
there?
really on there. Yeah. That's a good point. That's true because, like I said, he's a very good player. But any player that comes into a World Cup after being injured or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like it's just such a hard thing to like, especially because you don't play with your national team like you do with your club team, where you see them all day, every day, everything. It's just like you randomly just meet up to play. Like not like if it was a pickup game, but it's like out of nowhere these guys from that are playing in Spain and everywhere, and it's just like cool. Everyone kind of is aware of who the stars are going to be, you know what I mean? And it's just like if you come in there and you already have like one step back with an injury, that's hard to kind of step into that role. It's going to be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, Mario, how many days did you say that they had to get ready for this World Cup this time?
The windows are going to be about 9. Usually they get about 2 or 3 weeks of like,
so that's going to be a huge one too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And we mentioned before, like, again, knock on wood, but that doesn't give you a lot of assurances in terms of like, oh, I know I'm going to have this starting 11 ready to go. I think we can also move on to Uruguay, who, again, is no strangers to Ghana. Their current FIFA World Ranking 14. They actually have 2 World Cup titles, 1930 and 1950. And this is their 14th World Cup appearance. And they qualified directly from CONMEBOL, which is a very tough division. They qualified, I believe, the third seed in CONMEBOL. Pretty decent record. They are looking to get past the quarterfinal for, I think, the first time since 1950. And we kind of mentioned before how they had the controversial game with Ghana. I'm excited to see how that plays out. And a lot of the players that were there in 2010 are still here. Will also be interesting to see who shows up, who's starting from that side. They have Luis Suarez, Diego Godin, who are all like players that have been part of that squad for a really long time. It kind of reminds me of like Portugal, where they have a good mix of older, talented players, but also like new, younger players. I think the difference with Uruguay compared to Portugal is that maybe the Uruguay younger players aren't as close to maybe like the top form, and I think the Portuguese players are a little bit closer. I think they play bigger roles in their clubs. What do you guys think about this Uruguay side?
I mean, yeah, man, like you were saying, Uruguay is such an interesting team in general. You know, Uruguay winning the first World Cup and then, like you said, not making it past quarters in, was it 1950?
I think so, yeah.
Is kind of a wild one of those where
semis
it's
in
like
2010. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot. No,
oh well, yeah,
semis in 2010. Yeah,
that's true.
And they lost to the quarters in France. Apologies.
Gotta get the fact checkers on.
Any Uruguay fans. Yeah. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but 2010 they had such a good run. Diego Forlan was on fire. He was so fun to watch.
This is the first year he's not playing. I mean, he played the last World Cup, right? Or no?
No, he retired not soon after.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually played really well for really good seasons with decent seasons with Atletico de Madrid.
Yeah. I feel like that was sort of the he kind of was a part of the little renaissance that Atletico Madrid had for a second there, because I feel like before that it was Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid was just kind of a sad thing to see, not gonna lie. Like it was just like, I mean, dude, it's not even a rivalry. Then Atletico, I feel like that, in my opinion, was a big part of like them kind of coming back together to create really good teams like they have now. Like you were saying, at Uruguay, a lot of young guys, a lot of older guys. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be probably Luis Suarez and Diego Godin's last World Cup. Because like I said, if you look at
gotta be, I think, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the Uruguay national players, the list goes on and on. And it's not that they're like top notch, the best players in, the best leagues ever, but a lot of upcoming guys that I feel like are going to be taking those spots now. And I mean, like I said, same thing as Cristiano. Like if it is his last World Cup, he's going to play as hard as he can. I think that's going to be sort of a Luis Suarez thing. I don't know how much more effort you can put into than stopping a ball with your hands, but he's gonna be doing everything he can for sure.
If you think about it, yeah, it's maybe like unsportsmanlike, but in that situation, there wasn't a lot of time left in the game. It was actually a pretty good move, I think, because you're basically like maybe we stop it and we can stop a penalty.
It's like frowned upon, but like what he probably, it worked out.
Yeah,
totally.
Within the circumstances, it was probably like not a terrible decision. I still think it's terrible, and it was like I was so mad for Ghana, but not a terrible decision to try to just win at all cost.
Yeah, I can't believe we've been talking about Uruguay for like a couple minutes. Haven't even mentioned Edison Cavani? Dang.
Yeah, that's
forgetting about him already.
He's like about it. That's
dang. I was gonna say, that's like the number one guy. I mean, they play a 4-4-2, and they're one of the few teams that actually has two strikers that can just tear it up. And it can be, I mean, Suarez I think is a for sure. And then now you have like Darwin Nunez, which is like
Liverpool,
crazy. They're playing for Liverpool. No, it came out of nowhere. And then Cavani, whatever way they want to stack it. So I think you're going to have goals galore. And then their midfielders do a really good job of pushing the ball up. So I'm obviously a huge Real Madrid fan. So Federico Valverde is probably one of my favorite players up and coming. And this guy will shoot from the middle of the field if you let him. And he's like the last like probably 6 Real Madrid games, he's making like just rockets from outside the box, just making crazy goals, which I think will take a lot of pressure off of Cavani, Suarez, and Nunez up front,
for sure,
and get people to come out of the box. So I think when you have the people, trying to park the bus, or you're really trying to just play very defensive, they're gonna have to come out and defend these guys, right outside the box, because they can shoot from anywhere. And they've also only conceded 1 goal since this new manager took over. So I think they're very, very balanced, and they can score a ton of goals. So I think they're going to be a very fun team to watch. I think so.
Yeah, having that midfield control is definitely huge for teams like this. You know what I mean? Because especially having that midfield control where you have forwards that are that good, and then you got, what's his name, Muslera as a goalie, keeper. I mean, he's still a solid keeper. He's playing at Galatasaray. Like, it's not like it's one of those where he had like one good World Cup and then it's just like you never heard of him out again. He's still a very solid keeper, especially playing teams like Ghana. All their players are more of an attacking, position for the most part, the ones that like are more heard of. So them, Uruguay having a solid team in the mid and then a solid team of forwards. I mean, unless something goes very wrong for them, I think they got that game in the bag.
They could still have pretty good showing defensively too. Like, Diego Godin's well past his prime, but I think he can still hold it down pretty well. We could be looking, I think a lot of variables are at play, but if we do get like the best versions of these young players and like of these older veterans, I think Uruguay could actually be a pretty solid side.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 or 3 bona fide finishers and midfielders that can push the ball up. Like, what more can you ask for? Like, how many games do you watch, or how many teams are we talking about that have midfielders that just balls are going in, going nowhere, going in, going nowhere, and they're like they don't have finishers, and that's like all you can ask for, really. And that's kind of what we talked about with Cristiano Ronaldo. Same thing. You get the ball to him, he's going to score. Like, there's no question about it. He's going to finish it. You just get it to him, and he'll finish it. He'll take care of the rest. So same thing with these guys. So that's why that Portugal Uruguay game is going to be very, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally agree.
Really think it's going to be who just kind of wakes up feeling better that day. Who's more on it? You know what I mean? Because they're both the same exact deal, basically.
Yeah, they match up pretty well. They have good finishers on both sides. And I think, speaking about finishers, I think we could maybe finish up this group with South Korea.
Nice.
So, current FIFA World Ranking 28. They're making their 10th World Cup appearance. They qualified automatically from AFC. And they're trying to replicate or maybe beat their best showing, which was 2002 when they hosted the World Cup. And they have a good mix of talent playing domestically in their leagues, and they also have, I think, a good mix at different positions playing in top flight leagues, like especially in the Premier League. Like, they have Son, they have Kim from Wolves, Wayne. I don't know if I pronounce the H or not,
Wayne-Chan,
but Wayne.
I don't know how to say it, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they're a team. They were my second favorite team in the 2018 World Cup when they really saved Mexico, making it through
for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
not biased at all.
Yeah, no, I remember Mexico was like down 3-0, and so I just switched to the South Korea game. I was like, please, and when they were scoring, I was a adopted Korean that day. I was so excited and so happy and so grateful. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like that was that day when we all kind of same thing. We were at a bar and we were just kind of like, all right, let's just switch this game. Let's hope for the best on the Korean side. And then scoring the dagger, that last goal, was it 2-0 that it ended? The last goal that they passed it all the way up to him, super far run, and he just scored it. I just remember I felt like Mexico had won the World Cup at that point. You know what I mean? Like I was like, as if Mexico had actually won something. Like
I was thinking too, like you can't say Mexico is unlucky. Like this is so lucky. Like they
well, they're
beat
lucky but unlucky, right? Because
Yeah.
you've had your fair share of unlucky moments too.
Yeah, that's true. But in that
But anyway,
moment,
we're talking
it
about
felt,
South Korea.
No, it's great. I mean, they at that moment they basically beat the defending world champions. So, and they essentially knocked them home. So Germany was essentially playing for their World Cup against them. So they're putting their best foot forward, and they couldn't beat South Korea. You know, so that should show a lot.
Especially a German team that they didn't do good, but they were stacked. It wasn't a bench team at all. Like they were putting everything they had into it. That says a lot.
Like we're talking about good teams on paper that they end up playing. You're just like, dude, what is this? Like, they're so much better than this.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about how like Portugal and Uruguay have like really good strikers and some like world class in the last 10 years. But I think we could argue that, or maybe not even argue that, the best striker in this group probably is Son. He's coming off pretty solid showings at the Premier League. He won the Golden Boot with 23 goals last season. Very exciting player on this side, and as excited as we are for like Ronaldo, Cavani, Suarez, I think he's like the player that could really be the standout from this group. What do you guys think?
Well, we kind of mentioned something similar with Wales and Gareth Bale. Do you think that it's same thing here? Like Korea's going to go as far as Son can take them. Do you think it's just basically him against everybody, kind of like what we kind of felt with Bale and Wales?
I think I really do think it's. I hate to make it sound like he is the team. You know what I mean? But he's the captain. He's a striker. He's a goal scorer. Like it's one of those things where you can't. It's like Salah in Egypt, where it's just like he can do everything he can, but if he doesn't have a good game, that's game over. You know what I mean? So I think it's very similar to these three guys kind of have the weight of their whole nation on their shoulders. Because, like Mario said, I think he's one of the top forwards, top strikers in the world right now, like easily. You see him in Tottenham, he's outrunning everyone, he's outplaying everyone. It's not like he's some guy that where it's like he looks like he's really good because the rest of the team isn't. But again, going up against Portugal, Uruguay, and again a Ghana that might really surprise us. I hope he can make something happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most of their like firepower will rely on him, but I think South Korea tends to play more as a unit, and they're not. But again, they'll still need him to create goals. But I think if they can keep, and it's an offensive group, but if they can score one and maybe get a few ties and get a key win, they could probably get through with 5 points maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think something we haven't really touched on is the fact that, like, obviously the furthest they ever went was when they went to the semis, unfortunately beating Spain. So I remember that very clearly. But it was when they're at home, right? They were playing in Korea. So, I mean, this is probably the closest they're going to play to being at home. So, I mean, that may have something to do with it, too. Because remember, Mario, you were kind of touching upon that, like teams that play closest to home or in the general region usually tend to do better. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of Koreans are going to be traveling out to that, or just the fact that maybe their flight's a couple hours long versus, like we talked about Ecuador or some other teams that have to fly 10, 15, 20 hours to get to Qatar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
they're fun fans too.
Yeah, it's such a thing. I mean, Germany winning in Brazil that's why it was such a big deal. Because if you think about it, usually it's a team from that side of the world basically that wins it if it's being played in Brazil or wherever it's being played. Like that's such a big factor, whether it's a totally different country, totally different climate, everything, but it is literally a distance thing. That's a huge factor as well.
So like arguably we have like 2 South American teams in this group. Or what am I saying? We have 1 South American group in Uruguay. And then we have a European team, an African team, and an Asian team. So pretty spread out. Arguably Ghana and South Korea are the closest to Qatar. They're probably also on paper the 2 weaker teams. Do you think maybe the proximity to home might help them edge out one of the teams? Like what do you think, Israel? Like how would you break down how this group ends up shaking out?
Like I said, it's the proximity can be a huge factor. It can definitely help out and everything. I don't know what that's going to look like for Korean fans going to Qatar to the World Cup and all this. Same thing with Ghana. Very passionate fans and everything, but when you're playing a team like Portugal, which they truly feel like their team can take the World Cup, Same thing with Uruguay. Uruguayan fans, I mean, they're huge. They're a big factor. They're one of the biggest like fan bases, and that they will make it out to wherever you go. It's sort of like Argentina. So I think that's going to be a very big factor in the World Cup, as it always is in any sport, where it feels like either you're the home team or you're the away team. You know what I mean? Like that's a
Absolutely.
really big thing too. All in all, I mean, if I were to put money on it right now, Portugal and Uruguay are going to make it through like nothing. But it's there could be some very big upsets for sure.
Who would you have going as one, and who would you have as second in the group?
I would go Portugal 1, Uruguay 2, because at the end of the day, like I said, it being his last World Cup, I think he's going to be a huge, huge factor to this whole team in general.
You would have him playing 2B from Group F, I believe. So it'd probably be like Belgium, Canada, or Morocco. Well, Morocco, Croatia. Anyone from that group could really be second place. Wow. So what would you think is the ceiling for each of these teams?
I don't know, man. Like Portugal, I think Portugal is sort of like Argentina, where if it's Messi's last World Cup, same thing. A guy that isn't gonna just let it happen, lose a game. You know what I mean? So I think that this World Cup has a lot of those kinds of players where if this is their last one, they're not the kind of player to just let it happen. So I think Portugal has a solid chance of making it pretty high up because if they, like you said, if they win this group, they go against the second place in G, which would be, I mean, I don't think it's going to be Brazil. It would be Serbia, Switzerland, or Cameroon, which I think that's a win for them. I think they would take that for sure. So quarterfinals, and then from there they play Belgium or Croatia probably. That's going to be a rough one.
What about you,
do you
Mario?
guys think?
Who do you have coming out of this?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, like there's literally no wrong answers on this one.
Yeah,
like, on paper, obviously
it's
Uruguay and Portugal, but like it could be anybody.
Yeah, especially when you factor in who they would be playing after.
Yep.
I really have a feeling. I think Portugal will win the group, and I think South Korea is going to pull an upset and take second place in this group. I think it'll be close. It'll probably be a situation where they tie in points with probably Uruguay, but on maybe goal differential, they make it through. But yeah, again, any group could really do it. But I'd have Portugal going 1 and then South Korea going 2. I think Portugal's got potential to maybe make it to the semis again. And then I could see South Korea probably just round 16.
Round 16.
Out. Yeah. What's your take on Amilcar?
I'm going to be the odd one out here. I have Uruguay winning the group. Uruguay winning it, Portugal getting second and getting eliminated against Brazil right after, to be honest. But that's going to be a game to watch. If they play Brazil, Portugal, that's going to be a game to watch. Yeah, I think Uruguay just has way too much talent. They're just so balanced. I think they have a lot of young guys, old guys, a good mix. They have so much energy in the midfield. Ton of experience. I would say it's a 50-50 chance Portugal doesn't even make it out of the group. I think either they do well or they just do terribly.
Gotcha.
Depending on how they show up, what form, how everyone fits in together. I think the manager is going to be a big thing too. How is he going to play? I think playing defensive in this group, you're not going to get anywhere. Like we're saying, I think you're going to need goals to win this group. You're not going to get anywhere defensively. So if he plays the same way he played in the Euros, it's going to be tough. So yeah, and I think so Portugal will likely be out because they'll play Brazil right after, and Uruguay. I could see Uruguay make it to the quarters, maybe even semis, because I really think they have a good, solid chance to beat a Belgium or Croatia. So I could see them maybe as a semifinal team.
Portugal were to tie one of those random games against South Korea or against Ghana, that would really shake things up. Same thing with Uruguay. But if one of those teams is able to tie one of Portugal or Uruguay, that would really throw a wrench into things for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Portugal plays Ghana first, and then Uruguay plays South Korea. So, I mean, you know how sometimes that first game is what shapes your World Cup.
Yeah, totally.
So,
I mean, look at Germany last year. Lost the first game, and then that was it, man. That's kind of a rough one.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll make our brackets. We'll see who ends up on top here. I mean, it's you two against me here, so I'm running solo with Uruguay.
all in all, we all had 3 different things though. Like whether we chose Portugal first or second, and then you choosing Uruguay. Because I went easy, Portugal or Uruguay making out of this group.
Yeah. I mean, with Portugal, South Korea, and then you got Uruguay, Portugal, right?
Yep.
Keep filling out our brackets, and then we'll break them down and see how many of them we got. But I think that about does it for this group.
Yeah, thanks for coming on with us, Israel.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks. This was fun, man. I mean, I love talking World Cup, so I'm all about it. Thanks, guys.
And I am going to push one more time. I think the Joe Exotic could go on the Mickey's Mocha menu. I'll
Our
have to
new
come up with
bestseller.
that.
What if we switch it to Mario Exotic and we don't tell anyone why it's Mario?
Even better, I hope. But I don't know if you could take a line out the door every morning. I have no barista experience, but I'll happily help you.
I'll get you the shirt though. I'll get you the shirt.
Yeah,
and the boots.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, again, thanks for being with us as well.
Yeah, man, appreciate you guys.